Hi, this is Zeedign Tutorials, and in this video we are going to learn how to make two different kind of shadows in Adobe Illustrator. Here in this document or artboard I have showcased both kind of shadows. The first one is where the object is appearing to be in front of light, so the shadow is in the back. And the second type is where the object is sort of appearing to be in the air and light is coming from the top, so the shadow is in the bottom. This one is the one which is mostly used in designing projects for creating shadow effects or to highlight some particular area, to make some changes in the lighting. And the second one is mostly used in the cases where we are presenting some company's logo or doing some sort of branding. Anyway, it depends on your choice which shadow you will prefer in your project. Okay, so I'm going to execute both of these shadows one by one. I will create a copy of this object or logo here. Okay, so I'm going to execute this shadow first on this one, and then I will execute this one here. Both of these I'm going to do it here. So all I need to do is I need to select the object. It could be a group or just one shape, and then in order to implement this kind of shadow, I need to go to the top menu where I will find effect. So I will click on effect, and here in the drop down you will find stylize. Now it's really important to understand that there are two stylize in this drop down. The first one is here and the second one is here. So remember to pick the first one, which is in the Illustrator effects section, okay? Because in this drop down there are two categories. This one is Photoshop effects, this one is Illustrator effects. So you need to go to the Illustrator effects and stylize, and here you will find drop shadow. So I'm going to click on it and it will open up this pop-up panel. Okay, so I will keep it here. This is the shape we are working on, and at the moment you will see it has some mode which can be changed. By default it will be multiply, so I will keep it like that. Now even the opacity, I guess by default it will be 75%. So you need to click on this preview checkbox, enable to preview these settings, and you can make changes to it. For example, if you want to reduce the opacity even more, you can keep decreasing the value, and you will notice how this shadow is getting more invisible and transparent because we are reducing the opacity. Or we can increase the opacity according to our requirement or its preview. Okay, similarly we have X offset and Y offset. If we want the shadow to move horizontally, then we will increase or decrease the X offset value. If I will increase the X value, the shadow will move towards the right of our screen, and if I will decrease it, the shadow will move towards the left direction of our screen. Okay, and to move it vertically we will use the Y offset, where I can if I will increase the value it will move downwards, and if I decrease the value it will move upward. So once your position is adjusted with the help of these settings, then you can even go for the blur setting, which will make your shadow blurry, or if I will decrease the value it will start getting like this sharp shadow. So it depends on you. Either you need a sharp shadow like this, or you need soft shadow which sort of blurs in the background. Okay, so whatever is your preference, depending on your project, you can make changes in these settings to figure out what is suitable for your object. Anyway, once you are done with all this, and before I forget, you can even change the color of the shadow. It's not mandatory to have a black shadow. Maybe you are working on some dark background where you need some lighter colored shadow, which you are not actually treating as a shadow. It will be sort of neon light. Anyway, so you can even pick some different color for the shadow. For example, I could go with a blue color shadow, and my shadow will pick the color which I have selected here. Anyway, I will stick back to the black one, and now I'm going to press OK. So that's it. It's pretty simple once you know it. So what if I want to make some change later in the shadow? For that I need to select it, and this time I'm not going to go to effect and drop shadow, because that's just how we apply the effect. Once the effect is implemented, then if we want to change it or remove it later, we need to go to the appearance panel. It's here, and if it's not here in your interface, you will find it in Windows and Appearance. Okay, so that's how you can access this panel. Now once you have the appearance, you are in the appearance panel, you just need to select it and go to appearance panel, and here you will find this effect implemented on this object as drop shadow, and it will have this FX to its right. So I can disable it by using this icon, or if I want to change it, I need to click on this drop shadow, and the same panel will appear again if we want to make some change. So I can again make some change, preview it, I will press OK, and then that change will get implemented here. If I want to remove it, I will simply select it, and then I will click on this delete selected item, and the shadow effect will get removed. So that's it. That was all about the shadow type number 1. Now for shadow type number 2, this type has nothing to do with the object itself, because we create this shadow separately, and let me show you how. In order to make this shadow, you need to select ellipse tool. It's in the shape tool within the rectangle tool drop down, so you will find an ellipse tool here, and then you will draw some sort of ellipse like this. Okay, and you need to apply, by default it will be same color. You need to apply gradient on it, and in the gradient you need to have you can go with the white black gradient. It will be like this, and you need to keep your white as transparent, so I will keep its opacity 0, so it will be black and white, or even the one which whose opacity is 0, I can even keep it black, it does not matter. So I will keep black, and just the important thing is that once the one black should have opacity 100, the other one should have opacity 0. And then I will go for radial gradient. I will click on radial gradient. By default it will be linear. I will click on radial, and it will do something like this to your circle. Now you need to reverse it, reverse the gradient if it's appearing like this. So I will click on reverse, and then it will be like this. If it's already like this, then you don't need to reverse it. Anyway, once this is done, then you will go to aspect ratio drop down in the gradient panel, and you will reduce it to, let's say, 30%. Yeah, I think 30% is fine, so I guess that's it. Now you have something like this. You will pick your selection tool, and then you will stretch it like this, and then like this, and then even you can reduce its size if you want. If you don't want this much larger, you want it smaller, you can keep it smaller like this. So I will keep it here. I will bring my shape down to it. Okay, and here we go. So now I have created this kind of shadow, and it's also if I want it to be not this visible, if I want to reduce its appearance, I can go to opacity, and I can reduce its opacity to some particular value, whatever is suitable. and this way it will be even less sharp. So this is how to create this gravity kind of shadow where the object is appearing to be in the air and light is coming from the top, shadows in the bottom. So that's all about shadow type number 2. I hope you will be able to follow the steps of both these types. For the first one we went to the effect and we applied it, and for the second one we created a circle or ellipse and then we made some changes on it using the gradient panel, and that's how we achieved this type of shadow. So that's it for these type of shadows in Adobe Illustrator. I hope this video was helpful to you. Have a nice day. Thank you.